motto is people do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust.
As you
Know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. That's our big thrust. And we have a lot of great people who are hand selected. They don't come in from the newspapers or wherever. They're hand selected people that members know, and then we build on that. We also have mentor chairs who help new people get oriented.
Hello and welcome to the Smart Business Owner Podcast with your host Schubert.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Smart Business Owner Podcast. This is your host Schubert, and today we have two guests, very special guests. We have Betty and Craig. Betty and Craig are the owner of the PRE group that you guys have been hearing about quite a few times on the show here. So we have them here to tell us their story. Betty and Craig, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's
Thank
a
you for
pleasure.
inviting us, Schubert.
Of course, of course. It's always great to have you guys. You guys been seeing you guys. You guys all almost like my extended family for now because we see you guys every Tuesday at PRE. So I think it's a great thing to have you guys here being able to tell the world about your story and how the whole thing started. So I don't know which one of you want to get started, but can you guys share with us the story behind the inception of the Professional Referral Network, PRE, and what inspired you to start the networking group in Jupiter, and also talk about all the different groups that you guys have as well?
Yeah, well, my passion for small business success started many years ago. And I was living in Pennsylvania, but I had a lot of friends in Maryland and going back and forth and so forth. So my concern was small businesses are a lot of times uh, not successful because they don't have the right tools to work with and the right support system. So that's why we started what we're doing. Of course, there was other similar businesses when we started, but we felt as though we had the edge because we were creating business families and our approach was different. We wanted to make sure that the groups are very cohesive and the whole idea, mission statement, etc., evolves around the fact that people do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. Hence, we started to build business families. And started in Lancaster. It went to Reading, Pennsylvania, and then down to Bel Air, Maryland, Aberdeen, Maryland. And we were at a point of 40 chapters back in 98. Yeah.
Oh, you guys been around for a while now.
So, but then COVID hit, and that completely changed the landscape because we could not.
Now, are you guys from Texas State Referral Network, or are you guys just in Florida now?
Yeah, well, like I said, we were very discouraged with all the different blocks we had in Pennsylvania because
Right.
we weren't allowed to meet in the restaurants. So we came to Florida and started to open up, and that was in early 21. And there weren't a lot of meetings going on, but we were able to start with Very Fresh and start with our first meeting, and we just evolved from there. So it went well because
Right.
we weren't afraid to network in the midst of COVID.
Yeah, COVID was not easy. COVID was one of the toughest period in American business, and the folks that survived it, and take my hat off to them because a lot of business did not make it through COVID. So I'm glad you guys did make it. Did you guys went virtual during COVID, or did you guys still meet in person?
In person.
In person. Okay.
Not in Pennsylvania, however. The chapters that were left were doing Zoom. So
So you can do that in Pennsylvania. What about now? Are these chapters still up and running in Pennsylvania on a weekly basis?
yes,
Yes, we have about 20 chapters still in
Good,
Pennsylvania
thank you, Colin.
and growing.
So Many professionals are curious about the tangible value of being part of a referral network. Can you guys share some success story as far as how PRE has helped business owners generate business growth in the business?
Yes, I'll give you an example of a good success story. There was a young lady, Lisa, and she and her husband were just starting out in a cleaning service, commercial and residential cleaning.
Right.
She stumbled upon a PRE meeting. It was meeting in a room in a hotel, and she checked it out and decided to join right when her business was starting. It was probably 1 or 2 years in that they kept growing and growing to the point where there were 5 of their vans going around the town, and they were really like killing it as far as their cleaning business, and they got a ton of referrals from PRE, which is why they joined. And so we can help people who are new in business, not just people who have been around who are looking to get additional business. And so that was one of the success stories. And I know Betty has one or two.
Do you want to share one with us, Betty?
Yeah, I was at the Harrisburg meeting one day, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the one member stood up and said, I sell coffee, and I'd really like a lead into the Albies, and I was wondering if anybody here could help me. And one of the members said, well, my brother-in-law works there. I'll see what I can do. So the brother-in-law got him in front of the owner, and there was a successful deal made, and that deal generated $130,000 of sales.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a really rewarding situation. But the member asked specifically to get into this one grocery store, Albies, and
Right.
and that's what happened. So we felt really good about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you spend sometimes maybe for places with a group of people, and you have one sales worth about 30 grand selling coffee. That's incredible. Now, with numerous networking groups available, what sets you guys apart? What sets PRE apart from the rest of this referral networking group?
Well, our fact that we come from we want to build a business family, not just an organization or a group that gives referrals and is kind of just there. We have the thrust, and we want people to really bond together. And our motto is people do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust.
As
Know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. That's our big thrust. And we have a lot of great people who are hand selected. They don't come in from the newspapers or wherever. They're hand selected people that members know, and then we build on that. We also have mentor chairs who help new people get oriented, and we really promote one-on-ones tremendously. Very, very important.
So you just answered my next question, because I was going to ask about strategies that you implement, as far as member engagement and to promote success. So you just answered that question. Now, in today's digital age, you can't do anything, without being online. How does PRE integrate online networking with traditional face-to-face interactions?
Well, we have people like you, for instance, who help promote the chapter,
Big time, Sheila. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
who actually records the meetings, puts them on Facebook and Instagram and so forth, and then has everybody in the chapter like and share that presentation. And people get on there at least every so often and will like and share, and it just builds and builds and grows. And our members are very into it. The members that have been there for a couple of years are committed, and I have posts, we call them officers' duties, and they help us promote and grow all the time. And we're constantly doing guest days and reaching out at chamber events and trying to get people to just come observe a meeting. You, you're not going to be obligated, just come and observe a meeting. That's all. And see what we do.
And I'm guessing the reason for that strategy because you guys know once they come in, they will see the value that you guys bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, business owners, it's very hard to get the phone to ring, and it can be very expensive too if you're using traditional media, legacy media to promote your business. Even if you're using radio, TV ads, it's super expensive. Being able to be part of a group where they send your business, on a regular basis and you become like the extended family part, it's priceless in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
For those professional networking that thinking about joining a networking group, how can a professional, regardless of the industry, maximize the profit or the participation when joining a referral group, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, the member has to commit to being there every week because if they're not there, it's out of sight, out of mind. And so we have to have somebody who's committed to attend and somebody who is also willing to serve on the board because that like the president or membership chair or vice president or sergeant at arms, those people are in the limelight. And so people, when they think of Jupiter PRE, they think of that person. And so it's automatically top of mind awareness. That's what we want to create. And that's what we have to create in order to have a successful chapter.
Now, in Jupiter, there's a lot of other referral group such as BNI, NPI. How do you guys differ when it comes to, because a lot of those groups, they have those attendance that if you meet a certain amount of meetings, you're out, so I don't know how the business referral, how much business they generate, but how do you guys differ from BNI or NPI, and what values you guys bring to the table compared to them?
Well, here again, I personally have 25 years experience doing this. So I've made my mistakes and I've learned from mistakes. And so I've built on that. And one of the things that I think is very important that we offer our prospective members a friendly atmosphere. So we don't go and, bombard them with all the policies and rules and stuff that they must, and put all this shock into them, shocking them as to all the things they have to do. We just roll it out gently. And like I said, we want people to know, like, and trust us. So if we don't have that factor going on, we don't have that mindset, we're not going to be successful. So I personally, 25 years ago, started the one-on-ones myself in a little town in Indiana. And what happened? I just decided one day that I personally had to get to know everybody in this chapter because I wasn't connecting with them.
Right.
And so I started to ask people to do one-on-ones. Some of the members, like the insurance person, he was so shocked that I invited him for coffee to learn about his business and so I could share mine, that he turned me down because he thought I was hitting on him. What I wanted to do is have a conversation with him to see if I could, maybe switch my car insurance to his agency. It might be cheaper. I just wanted to talk with him at a greater length. So finally it caught on, And I'm very big on one-on-ones. If you don't sit down with 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes with fellow members, you're not going to do well because people aren't going to know you well enough and they're not going to refer to you.
I agree.
Can I throw in a little story there, Sheila?
Of course, please.
So Betty and I walk regularly. We were walking this morning in our condo development, and there was a moving van there. And it had all these flags on it, and looked like a pretty cool company. And we have an opening for a mover. We had a mover, A1, that was charter member, and they were in for 3 years, and they got so busy that they couldn't make the meetings, so they had to move on. But so I introduced myself to the people that were moving, the company, and they were all very friendly. And we told them I'm in a networking group and we help people get more business. And they said, oh, okay, that's interesting. It turns out the one gal that was working there was just at a B&I meeting
Uh-huh.
today, right? Our competition. And so I said, well, we have rules and they have rules and bylaws, and their rules say you can only be in one organization that's networking like this. BNI has that rule. PRE doesn't have that rule. So I mentioned that to the gal that was the PR person who drums up business for the company. And I was just straightforward. I said, Verifying Group, I was a member of them for 5 years as a chiropractor. But just know that, she says, oh, my boss just had me join BNI the other day. She went to her first meeting. I said, okay. Just know that now, you can't join PRE unless, they would move on from there. So I said, well, I'll give you my card in case if things ever change.
Right.
I knew that I couldn't attract her because she wouldn't be allowed to join PRE at this point.
Right.
So I went back to my condo. I got my business card, my brochure, and I came back and I told her that. She goes, oh, I didn't really join BNI yet. I just went to it as a guest the other day, and my boss wanted me to go. I said, well, then you're fine. You have an opening for your category in case you want to come to this very fresh one Tuesday morning. And so she said, okay, I'd really like to come and check it out. She goes, people are a little stuffy. That's what she said. Okay, well, we're not stuffy at all. We're actually have a lot of fun. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm all the time looking for people who advertise like that because they must be interested in more business.
Yeah, I mean, every business owners, the most important, if you ask them, when I have them on the show here, when I ask them, the most important thing for every business owner is revenue. Because at the end of the day, if they cannot, talk to new people, generate no business, they're going to start having declining revenue, and they're going to be out of business. So that's that's one of the most important thing for every business owner. Have the ability to bring in new prospect, bring in new clients, and if you guys helping them. And I like the fact that you guys are always be closing. Even during your morning walk, you see that van truck, and you realize that that could be a prospect, and we could be helping them with a business. Why not talking to them? So I love it, Craig. You are always be closing. You're on time.
For that,
Huh?
I have a term for that.
What's the
Pick and shovel work.
Oh,
What
interesting.
he does is very unique. He does what we call pick and shovel work.
That's very interesting. Craig, you're the man, Craig. Now, let me ask you guys this, and that question is for both of you. You guys can take turn on that question. Uh, Reflecting back with your journey with PRE or your career, is there anything you would have done differently in establishing or growing the network or your career, and what lesson have you learned along the way?
Yes. Well, I made a few mistakes, and one major mistake I made was not staying in proper communication, clear, clean, open communication with the area directors. Because back about 15 years ago, things went sideways, and this one area director was very upset with me, and it was really a communication problem. But um, things got sideways, and left. So some people left PRE, and so I regret that because it was my fault because I was the owner, and this area director was over here, and we didn't communicate properly, and didn't recognize it, and as a result, things went sideways. So I learned a lesson.
That's very good. That's the old saying, you always learn something every day. What about you, Craig? What can you share with us on that aspect?
Well, I would say similar thing, communication. It's like throw the cards out on the table and make sure everything is clear, understood, honest, accurate, and confront situations as they arise. Um, I mean, I'm working at that. I'm getting better at it. One day, maybe I'll be good at it. But that's a thing that I learned.
What motivates you guys both to continue the leading and expanding PRE? And also, are there any particular moments of achievement that has been especially rewarding for you guys to see? You've owned the organization for so long, and when you're reflecting on these things, and you feel that you feel very good about what you guys have accomplished.
Yes, well, I don't know if you noticed, but I certainly noticed when I go into a meeting, maybe it's early in the morning, maybe it's at lunchtime, whenever, but if I'm feeling just not quite with it or a little low, I go into a meeting with all those wonderful, positive people who are hand selected and like minded, and I start to feel better. It's a very uplifting experience. People are positive, they're motivated, and we all bond together as a business family and achieve results. So there's that. I think that's a very important part, is to be able to say that I really love being around these people. They're uplifting, and we help each other in every way possible.
Well said. What about you, Craig? What motivates you on a daily basis to continue the leading and expanding PRE?
Um, can you repeat that?
What motivates you on a daily basis to continue the leading and expanding PRE?
Well, um, we're looking to continue to build some more chapters. Usually the thing that we follow is strong interest. Somebody appears and says, wow, there's no PRE chapters around here. Uh, so that said, we think about maybe starting one. That's how we started Jupiter and Carmine's and Delray. Looking right now at West Palm Beach. We looked at it before because there was interest, but there was no traction there and it just didn't go. But now that's changed, so we're excited about the possibility there with some pretty strong people who want to have a chapter there.
Maybe you should look at something maybe on Wellington or the Boynton Beach area. And there's a lot of professionals in this area. Maybe you can add that one to do this as well.
Sure.
I love it. It's very invigorating, and it's thrilling, and we love to meet new people and to share ideas. And we always start out with what we call pre-launch meetings. It means they come and observe and get their questions answered to see if it's a fit for them. But we don't ever try to persuade someone to come into PRE if it's not a good fit.
That's have there been a mentor or influential figure who have shaped your approach to networking or business development?
Yes, well, that's why we encourage members, prospective members, to come 3 times so that they can really take a look at things and make sure it's a good fit for them. And we feel good about it too, that we can make sure they get referrals.
Now, when it comes to success, it all depends on who you're talking to. Everybody has a different definition of success. What would you say is the definition of success for you as a PRU owner and its members?
I'd say the referral report that comes out at the end of the month. I think looking at that and observing who's giving, who's receiving, how many referrals were the total for that month, I think that is a really good bird's eye view and indicator as to how the chapter's doing. So I would highly recommend you view that referral report to be able to see, who's giving and who needs help with maybe giving or receiving.
What's the process like? Let's just say somebody's listening and if it sounds interesting, what's the process like? Somebody thinking about joining PRE? Why don't you go ahead, Craig, and answer that question?
Somebody's interested in joining PRE?
Yes. Why don't you explain to us that process?
Well, if I understand your question, I just have to come and answer all their questions and have them come and make sure that they're going to be able to make all the meetings. That's a critical, crucial thing. Sometimes a person can only make really 2 out of 4 meetings a month. But we don't know that. So that's something we have to sort out in the beginning for any prospects that, have to know.
Hello and welcome to the Smart Business Owner Podcast with your host Schubert.